Hi guys. I thought instead of going through and updating the website, making sure everything was all good, and wearing the hee-haw my poor little hands, I'm just going to, and then having to send out multiple emails to the candidates running for office in Oklahoma. I'm just going to post it here on, and they can address it however they want to, put it on their YouTube channel, answer questions, or however they want to answer them. But this is the letter that I've been sent. I've been updating it, but I put it together back in, oh gosh, over 10 years ago. So I looked at the updated statistics, and presently, as of 2013, 2.8 million Americans sustained a traumatic brain injury into the letter. In the last 22 years, I have networked with and other organizations all over, not just Oklahoma, but nationally and internationally, with TBI Raiders and the programs I have laid out. They have mentioned they wanted me to come present and help get it started there. First, developed right, and then spread it to other places. I learned so much as an advocate before I came to Stillwater, to where I would become involved in the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Legislature and learn how to write bills. I know, and I kind of knew the whole gist about writing bills and stuff way before I came to Stillwater. That was like when I was 10 day and at working and that'll fine tune stuff. But I learned the inner pieces when I got involved in OIL. It was pretty cool. I know that there is more than that you learn in the organization, but I learned a lot of it by volunteering TBI Raiders, along with being involved in the Disabled Association, College Republicans, National Youth Leadership Network, 5 years, and that involves a year with being involved in the governing board. Oklahoma Association representative for that. The IDB Advisory Panel, and the Unite We Ride Advisory Network, or Advisory Committee. Those are the ones I can remember being involved in right offhand. Leadership Network. I was able to attend conferences in Washington, D.C. I met those who worked in the current as well as the previous 2 presidential administrations, and was able to talk to them about what I was doing for students and young adults with traumatic brain injury. Now, is that the kind of inspiration you have had on the next generation? And that's not some kind of put down. That's just a question. Or have you just been, the next one's not a put down either, it's just a question. Or have you been molding them into more of the same old, say it's not a put down because somebody, I don't know what it is about candidates, people just get offended. Jeez, questions are questions, get over it. Oklahoma may have moved up 2 spots from where we were, but our state is still in the top 20 with the most cases of traumatic brain injury each year. We were in the top 10, and we were at, I think it was top 5 when I started this in 03. I know we were top 10 when I started in 03. I'm trying to think where we were, but with the most cases of traumatic brain injury each year. Traumatic brain injury affects more Americans each year than what breast cancer, HIV, AIDS, spinal cord injuries, and multiple sclerosis will affect combined. I repeat, combined through your heads. If you would like to know where the counties fall, I found a map of the counties that was in the summary of reportable injuries in Oklahoma, TBI in Oklahoma, 1992 to 2003. Below is what the map showed state. Okay, keep in mind, spelling was like, I had really hard trouble telling what. I'm like trying to go up screen, see what the words were. 25 to 49%. Harmon, Beckham, Roger Mills, Dewey, Kiowa, Caddo, Blaine, Kingfisher, Jefferson, McLean, Pawnee, Pontotoc, Mays, Muskogee, McIntosh, Hughes, Cole, Pushmataw, Haskell, 1 to 24%. Jackson, Greer, Washita, Major, Alfalfa, Grant, Noble, Oklahoma, Stevens, Carter, Murray, Marshall, Bryan, Atoka, Potawatomi, Seminole, Volksky, Creek, Craig. It's in the southeastern part of the state. Choctaw, McCurtain, below state rate. Texas, Beaver, Woodward, Woods, Garfield, K, Osage, Washington, Tulsa, Nottawa, Rogers, Wagner, Delaware, Custer, Tillman, Comanche, Cotton, Grady, Canadian, Logan, Payne, Lincoln, Cleveland, Love, Johnston, with the whole concussion thing. We have all these states working to help those with traumatic brain injury. California, Washington, Colorado, New York, Virginia, to name some. Why can't we? I'll tell you why. We have people in this state who care more about politics. Sometimes it's politicians, sometimes. Other times, I find it's more the lobbyist. I don't even want to associate with either party. We have people in this, I already read that sentence. If that isn't the case for you, would you please answer the following questions? That could be by your YouTube channel, by Prescott, however you want to do this. If you don't mind, I would like to ask, do you know anyone who has sustained a traumatic brain injury? Or have you sustained a traumatic brain injury? I'd like to help those with traumatic brain injury. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I've thought too much on stuff. Don't ask me that question. In the report to Congress, the management of traumatic brain injury in children, opportunities for action, it states that in 2003, there were approximately 640,000 traumatic brain injury related emergency department visits, 18,000 traumatic injury related hospitalizations, 1,500 traumatic brain injury related deaths among children 14 years of age and younger. Okay, hopefully I'm going the same one. To start changing this stat. If you were to look at the website for the Center for Disease Control under traumatic brain injury, severe traumatic brain injury states the estimated cost of traumatic brain injury in 2010, including direct and indirect costs, is estimated to be approximately brain injuries and traumatic brain injuries requiring hospitalization, many of which are severe, accounts for approximately 90% of the total traumatic brain injury medical costs. Is there any way you think it can be balanced here in the the state. That's not to improve, like, that's just to help our state with how the whole ratio traumatic brain injury outcome sucker goes. When it comes to traumatic brain injury related death, self-harm was the leading cause. I was suicidal before my brain injury. No, it wasn't quite the case when it happened. But yeah, with my PTSD afterwards, yeah, self-harm was a bit. My friends helped me with my PTSD that I developed and everything. But I'll just read on. Besides promoting getting professional help, I would really want to see something done on encouraging kids or other traumatic brain injury survivors, they're older, to building up their circle of friends and teaching them about who you surround yourself with. From my friends I knew growing up in Chandler, when I still have flashbacks, and being my rock, then also the Stillwater community and athletes at OSU for helping to encourage me and to relearn what it was like to be part of a unit. What type of awareness raising would you do? Okay, political party tip. I'm not even going to get into the three-party questions I've got on the website. Okay, it's the whole political party mumbo-jumbo BS that goes on. When it comes to the political party issue, are you going to listen to what your party thinks best? Or are you going to listen to your constituents? And when I say constituents, I mean people, not just the people who are in your party. I mean people that are in your party and people that think differently than you. That also includes Republicans and independents. You can't go, oh, we're going to do what the Dems want. No, we're going to do what the Republicans want. No, we're going to do what the independents want. Oh, smut. I've heard it all. Ugh. It's status quo of what your party says. How are you going to be different than the gin maker? That's my best way of saying it. There's the generic lawmaker, and then there's the actual lawmaker. And I have been fortunate, and God has downright blessed me with working with some flat out awesome lawmakers. And that was even before I moved to Payne County. So how are you not going to be the typical lawmaker is my question. And you know what the typical lawmaker is. So don't even get me started. Presumably those with just post-traumatic stress disorder. And by the way, those with traumatic brain injury, I don't know how it goes for concussions and stuff, but once you get traumatic brain injury, you're undoubtedly going to get post-traumatic stress disorder from what I've found. Because when I got TBI and I found from my doctor, when I got diagnosed with PTSD, depended on both Social Security and insurance and Medicaid. And as soon as I got married, and then I had to pay back Social Security and everything. So it's kind of ridiculous that depend on for help because that I have to deal with that is ridiculous when it comes to traumatic brain injury. The amount paid for 5. And with as much problems as I had with Social Security, my dad went, I don't know what all he had to do and everything else. But I ended up getting on care through that my dad was on when he was on active duty for for the Army. So God bless the Army. And they covered me until I was married. And they covered all the medications I was on. So we've got to do something about covering all the medications and figure out what all needs to be worked out. Because when it comes to disabilities, you don't get traumatic brain injury from having a disability. You get a disability from having a traumatic brain injury. It's not hand in hand. Traumatic brain injury gives you a disability. Traumatic brain injury gives you stress disorder. So it's not a, what was it somebody was telling me? An advocate, like ADD gives you TBI? No. It gives you a likelihood of giving you, increases your chances of getting it, but questions. And so if you would like to give responses, you can do your own video response to this video or post answers in the chat I have here. And other than that, I hope you guys have a good one, and God bless you all.